My experience with community gardening is that it has a number of different levels of benefits, and that we don't always imagine and value all of them. The development of a garden's been really beneficial for green space, and that's enough of a value, I think, for it to have been developed. But there has been a huge benefit in the capacity building for the folks who do come in and garden, and for the kids to see people coming and gardening, to see the respect that the gardeners have for the land. My name is Christine. I'm the School and Community Garden Coordinator at Grandview Elementary School. I coordinate the school garden, which means bringing individual students, groups of students and classes out to the garden, as well as running plant and food workshops in classrooms. And I coordinate the community garden.
My name's Samantha Charlton, and I work as an urban agriculture coordinator here. So here in this garden, it's used primarily for youth training. We run 1 to 2 internship programs per year with around 6 to 12 youth. And the goal is to give you some real-life job experience in the environmental sector, specifically around organic food production and community outreach related to food and food security.
The Grandview Garden was started in 1999-2000. There were 2 master's students from the University of British Columbia, a master's in education student and a landscape architecture student who had been working on garden projects on the west side of Vancouver, and came out here to take a look at schoolyards, and were really blown away by how barren and unwelcoming the schoolyard at Grandview was. And so they took it on as their master's thesis project.
So the intern program is funded through the Skills Link program, which is a federal government program for youth, part of a youth employment strategy. There's also lots of in-between periods and side projects, both here and at other gardens, that we fund through separate grants from either foundations or corporations or other various levels of government.
The initial building and development of the garden was funded by a number of different organizations. Evergreen was a big funder. The Vancouver School Board put in some money. A lot of different businesses from around town helped put in money. And Vancouver Coastal Health has a First Nations Health Initiatives fund, and so they've provided ongoing support to have a staff person maintaining it, which is me.
There's a bit of stigma around community gardens amongst some people because they do have a wilder, less sort of formal, cared for look. And a lot of that is just because people are trying to increase biodiversity as well as having their food plots. So community members can go out on their work bee days and just help out amongst those gardens and just strengthen the networks and knowledge surrounding community gardens in general. Yeah, there's loads of vandalism.
Theft and vandalism are a big problem here.
And being right down in a city with no fencing and no locking, it's just a fact of life. But we've always been a barrier-free kind of place, so we would never fence or gate a place. I think that encourages vandalism.
One is that it's quite isolated. There aren't, especially in this garden area, there aren't houses that look out onto the garden, and so it's not monitored in the same way that a lot of parks end up being when they have houses facing them. Right. It's also a neighborhood that has really high levels of food insecurity, and so a lot of our food gets stolen, especially red fruits and vegetables like strawberries and tomatoes, anything that looks tasty, lettuce. We've had, huge theft of garlic, sort of anything.
We just try to use things like growing crops that are less likely to be vandalized. One classic example is yellow tomatoes that are bright yellow when they're ripe instead of red, and then they're less likely to be scooped. And also planting things in various places.
the ability to grow our own food in my generation, in the generation above me, and definitely in the generation below, is really being lost. And so a huge value in community gardening is rebuilding that. Our garden is really intergenerational, and I think that's quite beneficial because we have a lot of elders in the neighborhood who still have a sense of that, who have been growing and working with plants their whole life, and they have so much knowledge to pass down, and so our kids get to benefit from that, and our young-ish people get to benefit from that, and we're learning skills that we are going to need, that we do need now, and definitely are becoming more and more valuable by the year as our climate changes and our environment changes.
I'm just happy that this is sort of a burgeoning theme right now. It seems like everyone in the city is really excited about community gardens right now. There's lots of groups popping up everywhere. And I just hope that out of this wave of energy, there's some real sustainable projects that come out of it and some real connections amongst people.